Sanders campaign had to disavow controversial comments made last night by one of its high-profile supporters who used a very strong, very offensive word.
Well, I agree with Secretary Clinton that Medicare for all will never happen if we have a president who never aspires for something greater than the status quo. Medicare for all will never happen if we continue to elect corporate Democratic whores who are beholden to Big Pharma and the private insurance industry instead of us.
That's Dr. Paul Song speaking there last night. He's a physician and healthcare activist. He is the husband of CNN host Lisa Ling. He made the comment just before Bernie Sanders addressed a crowd, huge crowd of about 27,000 supporters in New York City's Washington Square Park. Song later apologized, saying that he was referring to some members of Congress, not to Hillary Clinton. Sanders himself hadn't weighed in on the controversy until this morning when he tweeted that the comment was inappropriate and insensitive and has no place in our political discourse. His wife, Jane Sanders, was just interviewed by my colleague Andrea Mitchell just a short time ago, and here's what she had to say.
As soon as we heard it, immediately we responded. That is not something we expected. As I said, he was a speaker at one event, and he was one of many speakers. Unfortunately, we weren't there to hear it. We would have spoken up immediately.
Stephanie Shriak is the president of Emily's List. She's a Clinton supporter. She joins us now. Stephanie, nice to see you.
Great to be here. Thank you.
In more of his apology, Dr. Song said that he was not talking about Hillary Clinton. In fact, his wife, Lisa Ling, defended him on Facebook, and here's what she posted. She says, "I know for certain that he would never refer to any woman as a blank. It was a very poor choice of words, and Paul is extremely regretful for using it. Most importantly, he is mortified that such a word is being associated with Secretary Clinton." Do you think his remarks were misunderstood?
No, I mean, they're really disappointing. The kind of language that we're hearing is just not, there's no place for that here in the Democratic Party and in our politics. And I am glad to see Senator Sanders this morning disavowing these. But what we're beginning to see regularly is a pattern by Senator Sanders and his campaign sort of leaning into these insults, whether it was questioning Hillary Clinton's credibility or her qualifications or her ambition. Really what we're wondering is when we're going to get back to a focus on the issues and what we're going to be talking about.
Are you suggesting that the Sanders campaign knew that Dr. Song was going to say that word?
No, I am not. But what we're seeing is a pattern by the campaign to lay out a lot of insults here. And like I said, I am glad Senator Sanders, disavowed those this morning. He could have done it from the stage last night in front of all those folks, and I would have liked to have seen it then because it was so shocking to hear. But these turn by the campaign to focus on insults, I really hope we're turning back. He was going to run a positive campaign, and we should get back to this. The Democrats deserve better than this.
To be fair, this was prior to Bernie Sanders taking the stage. This happened before the band, I think, even played Vampire Weekend, if I understand the chronology last night. And this was not Sanders or his campaign speaking. This is somebody outside of their campaign saying something. It's possible the senator didn't even know that it had happened.
Well, this was a campaign event, and I've been at a few campaign events in my life, and there are lots and lots of campaign staff there. They certainly knew that it was a shocking statement that it was made and could have easily talked to the senator, but that is not specifically what this is about. I really think this is about a pattern that we're hearing from this campaign. It's been a turn. It's more negative. And a lot of the things that are being talked about, you know, some of it, and maybe not last night, but some of it's really been out of the Republican playbook, and it seems like Senator Sanders and his campaign are sort of cashing in on decades of attacks of Hillary. I think the real question is that we're going to have a debate tonight, and I'm hoping that we turn to how are we going to get things done, because Senator Sanders does have a lot of questions that should be asked about how he plans on doing these things. So let's focus back on the issues. We can do this.
Stephanie, Again, to be fair here, though, it's not like the Clinton campaign is entirely immune from surrogates saying something that maybe the candidate wishes they hadn't. You remember Bill Clinton's confrontation with Black Lives Matters protesters that happened just a few days ago. You remember Madeleine Albright saying there's a special place in hell for women who don't support other women. There was Gloria Steinem's comment about Bernie Sanders supporters who are female. So I think it happens on, wouldn't you say it happens on both sides?
But again, like I said, the senator addressed it this morning. I wish he would have addressed it last night. There are a lot of staff around. I'm sure they were talking about it. It was so shocking to hear, and that's how these campaigns go. That's why we need to just get refocused. And I'm hoping that the Sanders campaign really looks at this and says we got to tone this all down among everybody and focus back on the issues. I've been so proud to be a Democrat this year. I think we should all be proud. Because we can really focus on the future and what we want to do while the Republicans are going another direction. So I hope we get back to that track.
Well, we'll all be watching the debate tonight, that's for sure. Thank you, Stephanie Shriak from Emily's List. Nice to see you. Moments ago, MSNBC's Chris Matthews